Hey Elijah, Big Brother Spoilers from Instagram here. How are you feeling this morning?
I lost, but I'm just so grateful I made jury. Like, I didn't have the easiest journey, so I'm glad I was able to scrape my way far enough to this point.
Did the reality of being in the Big Brother house meet your expectations as a super fan?
Oh yeah, like for sure. Like honestly, it was like waking up and finding yourself in your favorite book. Like it was just I'm just so blessed to like play it, honestly.
What was the most enjoyable aspect of living in the Big Brother Canada house and playing the game?
I think just like being able to talk strategy, like whenever you had a really good strategic conversation with someone, it was just so fun. Because like in real life, you don't ever really get to do that, you know? And just
Yeah.
when you love the game too, it's like you're in the thick of it. So whenever I had a really good strategic conversation with someone, it was just amazing.
So we know you're a massive super fan of the games. How does it feel to be the first member of the jury and to go out in this movie massacre twist?
I mean, the twist was wild. I think I would have survived without it, but that's the game. You know, there are twists out there. And being the first juror, I mean, I'm glad I made jury. And honestly, I think I'll do a good job at it. Like, I have a really good memory. So, like, everything before me, I remember pretty well. So, I think that'll kind of help future jurors. And I look forward to hearing what the future jurors have to say. And I feel like because I'm a fan, like, I'll help people, like, stay grounded and be like, hey, I know so and so totally backstabbed you, but that's the game. Like, was it within, like, fair play? Like, should you really not give them their vote just because of this and whatnot? I want it to be a fair jury if possible and for people to be open minded. And I really want the best player to win. Like, the winner is kind of a big part of a season, you know?
Something you mentioned in your preseason bio was that you wanted to find a ride or die to navigate the game with. Who would you consider your ride or die?
It never really quite happened. Like, originally, it was kind of like I was thinking Anthony or Kayla. Then I was like, yeah, I wanted to work with Kayla as my ride or die, but we never quite got on the same page there. And then Anthony and I, we kind of went in different directions and like the games we were playing. But then in the last couple of weeks, honestly, like Todd, I don't know if we were ride or die per se, but he was definitely my most trustworthy ally. And yeah, I wanted to go with final three with him, and I probably would have cut him at final three. But yeah, probably, I guess Todd and Kayla ended up being my most close allies, despite some bumps in the road.
Throughout the game, your loyalties change between sides. So this is part of your strategy to float between both sides.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was totally down to play all angles, and I kind of blew it here and there where my cards got shown a bit. But I think overall, I didn't do terribly at it.
You were used as a pawn quite a few times. Were you surprised to be nominated time after time?
I sure was, and honestly, I think like if I could go back and change only one thing in that second week when Spicy said she wanted to put me up as a pawn or another director, I should have just standed firm on that and been like, "This is ridiculous. It makes no sense. We just made this alliance." So like, yeah, honestly, I feel like me being a pawn week two really sent me on like a bit of a downward trajectory. And if I could change one thing, it would be for that first second week, just like not letting that happen, or at least making more of an effort to not let it happen.
After Kayla won the POV, were you expecting Victoria to nominate you, or were you surprised? And do you think this will be a mistake?
Honestly, I thought it was safe. Like I was rooting for Kayla so hard. I didn't think I was going up at all. But then I realized it was happening. And honestly, I get that Kayla told me that like Spicy just didn't want to lose Avery because like she was her number one apparently, which I suspected. And so like I don't think it was a mistake per se. I kind of wish Spicy would have been more honest with me though, because I really could have like gone to Todd and been like, dude, like if we really convince her we have the votes, we can get Toll instead and I won't go. But I mean, it is what it is, and it all happened so fast, right? And I was just trying to piece things together as they were happening.
Had the executive veto twist not come into play and it was a tie when you were HOH between Todd and Tola, who would you have evicted and why?
Oh, Toll, 100%. Todd and I got so close during that week. And Toll, it's like I said, like the guy's a jack of all trades. Like he's so good at so many different things. And like, do you want someone like that in the end game when comps become more and more important? Like, I love the guy, but I just thought he was clearly the bigger threat.
When Avery nominated you last week, were you aware that you were the target before she said it in her nomination speech, or was it a surprise to you?
I knew I was getting nominated, but I didn't know I was the target. And she was like, "Oh, you kind of assumed you were the pawn." I mean, like I thought we were close enough where you at least would have told me, but okay. But I mean, thank God though I ended up surviving that week because it was looking pretty brutal at first.
Something else that you mentioned in your preseason bio was that your perfect day includes a hot tub with friends, and we saw you spend a lot of time in the hot tub. How much time did you spend in the hot tub?
I pretty much went in almost every day. So like at least an hour a day. I was in there 41 days. So I'm terrible at math, but definitely a long time. Some days I even went like two dips. I just love that hot tub. I got to do some strategy sessions where I was in the hot tub. So yeah, definitely fond memories in the Big Brother Canada hot tub.
So moving on to talking about the remaining players, we're going to do a word association to describe the fellow house guest's remaining game. I'll say someone's name, and you say the first word that pops in here to describe their game. So we'll start off with Anthony.
Anthony, let's see, Anthony, charismatic.
Avery.
Avery, analytical.
Bailey.
Bailey, strong.
Kayla.
Kayla, is I guess persevering. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Lexus.
Lexus would be calculating.
Todd.
Todd would be underdog.
Tola.
Tola would be competitor.
Victoria.
Victoria would be genius.
So can you rank the remaining players based on how likely you think you would be to vote for them?
Yeah, sure. Okay, number one's definitely Spicy V. Two would be probably Kayla. Three, I think three, I'm going to say Bailey. Then four, Avery. Then Todd. Then Anthony. Then, oh wait, I forgot Lexus. Okay, here, we'll do Todd, Anthony, Tola, but let's put Lexus ahead of the guys. Like, I feel like the ladies have pretty much dominated. So that's kind of, they're definitely higher right now. That being said, though, I feel like everyone's playing decently well, and like I'm open to anyone really. It all depends on how things shake out.
Are you anti-returning player at all, or will you be voting based on gameplay regardless if they're a new player or returning player?
Nah, I'm not. I'm not even gonna really consider that because, like, honestly, there's two of them. There are 12 of us. Like, if one of them wins, like, the joke's on us, you know. Like, it's whoever played the better game. Like, honestly, I think Spicy V gets my vote no matter who she's up against. And Anthony, like, while I do feel he was kind of not as like powerful as some other people, like if he plays his cards right, he could definitely get my vote. And I'd love to give him my vote because honestly, I think he should have won season 7. Dane played great, but I think Anthony, like, he wasn't nominated, so I think it would be nice for him to get a win. But it all depends on who they're up against and what they do in the end.
Who do you feel the most betrayed by?
I don't really feel betrayed by anyone. Like, we all know it's a game with only one winner. I've got to say though, whoever like put me down for having no vote during the movie Massacre really like kind of sealed my fate in a way. Because I think if I had a vote, Spicy probably would have put Toll up. Because then me, Kayla, and Bailey could have 100% sent him out, with Spicy being the tiebreaker.
What is your biggest regret?
My biggest regret, like honestly, if I could just go back and change one thing, I should have fought harder for not being a pawn, or for Avery or Kayla to not be a pawn, for none of the directors to be a pawn week 2. I feel like me being a pawn week 2 really like set my game on a downward curve.
If you had stayed in the game and won HOH, who would you have targeted?
Like if I stayed in the game, depending, like if let's say Tola went instead of me, then I would have probably targeted Avery. If Avery went instead of me, I would have targeted Tola.
Who will you stay in touch with after the game?
Honestly, I want to stay in touch with everyone. Like, I already miss them. I've just been out. So I want to stay in touch with everyone. I didn't expect to like everyone so much. I thought there would at least be one person I couldn't stand, but nah. I like everyone, I miss everyone, and I want to keep in touch.
Who do you think will be the next person to be evicted and join you in the jury house?
It really depends on like who wins HOH, but my guess would be Tola.
And last question, who do you want to win and who do you think will win?
I guess I want Kayla to win, but I think Spicy will win, but you never know. It's just a tricky game.
All right, Elijah, I know you have a lot of interviews to get to today, so thanks for making the time to chat with me.
Thanks so much. It was great. Have a good one.